This video will explain how to create the graph for 3C in the examples. We are going to create a sine graph that has a period of 180 degrees reflected about the x-axis and has a phase shift of 45 degrees to the right. Recall that sine has 5 key points. We have the beginning of the cycle, the midpoint, and the end, our maximum value halfway between the beginning and midpoint, and our minimum value halfway between the midpoint and the end of our cycle. We want to apply our 3 transformations to the 5 key points. First of all, a period of 180 degrees. This means that this cycle will occur from 0 to 180. So the beginning of our cycle is unaffected. But the end of our cycle, which used to be at 360, will now be at 180. We already have a dot there. The midpoint of our cycle is halfway between the beginning and end of our cycle, which this time will be at 90 degrees. Our maximum is halfway between the beginning and midpoint of the cycle, so the midpoint is 90, so our maximum must occur at 45 degrees and is right here. The minimum occurs halfway between the midpoint and the end of the cycle. The midpoint in this case will be between 90 degrees and 180, which is 135 degrees, which is approximately here, and we mark the midpoint. We've created a graph of sine with a period of 180 degrees. Now we want to reflect it in the x-axis. The points on our x-axis are unaffected by reflection, but our maximum will flip down and become a minimum. This minimum will flip up and become a maximum. I'm going to erase these other points so I don't get confused by them. So now we've applied the period of 180 and a reflection in the x-axis. Now we want to shift each point to the right 45 degrees. The beginning of our cycle to the right 45 degrees will now be here. The end of our cycle at 180 will now be at 225, which is here. The midpoint of our cycle, which was at 90, will now be at 135, which is here. Our minimum will shift over 45 degrees. It is now at 90. And our maximum, which was at 135, will shift over 45 degrees. It is now at 180. Connecting these points, we have one cycle of our sine function with the 3 transformations applied. We can repeat this pattern of points to create more cycles.